Okay, I'm going to go through the practice test here for Excel, and I've got two sheets of instructions here that all have to do with sheet 1, and we'll just go through those one at a time here, and I'll change the color as I finish them off. So first thing I want to do is save it on my desktop with the name Stocks 2012 and then my name. So let's go do a save as. Let's go to desktop. And I need to go to the end of this and change the name of sheet 1 to stocks. Just double click on it, type on top of it. Let's go back here. So I've done those two. Let's make those black when I get done. For the formula in B2, they always display the current date. No matter when it's open, that's the today function. Make sure you start with an equal sign. Don't forget the parentheses on the end, and it'll put in today's date. I guess I can make this a little bit bigger here. And that takes care of this. Merge and center the text in A1. Change, let's do that. Merge and center all the way over to the notes column, or the note column. There's the merge and center button on the home tab. Let's go back and set the font for the entire worksheet to 10 point Verdana. Select the whole thing up here. We can also do a Control A. And then go to my fonts here and go down to the V's and scroll to Verdana, and let's make the size 10. And let's go back. So we've done these two, and now I want to make my title in A1. I want to make it 24 point blue, Times New Roman, italic bold. Let's try and remember all of that. 24 point blue, Times New Roman, italic bold. Okay, I think that's everything. And make the column headings bold and turn on the wrap text feature, and make sure I don't have words that are split up. So these are my column headings. Let's make them bold and turn on wrap text. And sometimes it splits up words when you do that, and sometimes it doesn't. Looks like I came out okay this time. Whether that works on your computer or not, I think may depend on the resolution of your monitor. Okay, set the fill color for the column headings A4 to M4 to a shade of light gray. Set the height to 42 and put a thick bottom border. So we can do all of that at once, I think. Still got it selected. Let's do the fill color to a light gray. We'll pick that one. And put a thick bottom border underneath it. They all have names. Here's the thick bottom border. I think I forgot something. Set the height to 42. So go back here, set the height to 42. It's 48 right now. There, just shorten it up a little bit. Everything still fits, it looks like. And the numbers in the purchase date column are serial numbers representing dates. Change them into the 14 March 2001 format. So let's go over here. And these are the numbers right here. I'm just going to select all of them. And the default date is like this. The long date is like this. I don't want either one of those. So I need to go to more number formats here. And go to date. And then scroll through the choices here until I get to 14 March 2001 with a 4-digit date. So not that one, I need a 4-digit date. So if we scroll down a little bit further, there it is, it's the last one. Click on OK. And those are my correct dates. So let's calculate the total purchase value and multiply shares by purchase cost per share. So this is going to be what I paid for it. I bought this many shares. They cost me that much. Total current value is going to be the shares that I bought times their current value per share. And it looks like I've lost money on that. I need to subtract the current value minus the original purchase value. So that went from 31,000 down to 24,000. That's a loss. Losses should be represented by negative numbers, which I've got here. And then we just need to copy that all the way down to the bottom. And let's go back here, and I've done these three. And I want to sum at the bottom of each one of those three columns. That's easy to do. I can actually do that with one command. So let's go over here and go down to the bottom here. And I'm just going to select all of them. And if you do an auto sum when you've got multiple columns like that, one command will give you all the sums. If I look at this, it's from G5 to G34. Actually, it includes one extra cell, which happens to be blank. I don't think that's a big deal. Whoops. What I want here is there. I want two-headed arrow. So it doesn't really make a lot of difference in this case because I'm just adding in an extra empty cell. But you can go back in after you've done that, and if your eye-hand coordination is good. Apparently it's not going to work on the bottom row here because it looks like it's too close, so I'm going to have to go up to the top row and then just drag it up one. And I'll just leave the last one the way it is. That's not a big deal. And that takes care of sheet 1. Now it's or the first instructions for sheet 1. Now let's go to the second set of instructions for sheet 1. I want each stock's percent increase. Find the profit or loss and divide it by the total purchase value for that stock. So this one went down, and it looks like it went down about 7 out of 31, which is probably somewhere in the 20 to 25% range. So the formula is just take the profit or loss divided by the original value, and looks like 22.5%. And let's go back to sheet 1. We just did the first one here, which is worth 2 points. And I want to make that black. And then I want the annual increase. That means I need to take the percent increase and divide it by the number of years. So, if it went up 10% over 10 years, that's 1% per year. So you got to take this number, divide it by the number of years. Well, how do I get the number of years? I got to take today's year and subtract this year. Okay? So my formula is take the percent increase, divide it by the quantity, so I need parentheses here, the year of $B, $2, I'm going to copy that, minus the year of C5, which is when this one was purchased. Close off the parentheses because that's my entire denominator now. So let's see, if I've had this for 12 years and it was 22% loss, that's about a little under 2% per year, so that looks good. Let's go back here, and we just did that one. Calculate each stock's percent of the total portfolio by dividing the stock's total current value by the total current portfolio value at the bottom. Okay, so I want to know what fraction this is divided by out of the total down here. Now that's going to be an absolute cell reference, so I need to put my dollar signs in that so I can copy it. And now I've got formulas here that can be copied all the way down. Okay. And let's go back, and we just did that one. Calculate the sum of all the percentages. And if we do that, we should get 100%. That's a little way to kind of check your work here. So this should all add up to my entire portfolio. If I do an auto sum on that, it's 1, which as a percent would be 100%. Okay, so we did that. Let's turn that black. In the note column, put a plus sign if there was a profit, a minus sign if it shows a loss. Doesn't really say anything about 0, but we're not going to worry about that. That's going to be an if function. Let's go to our formulas over here. That's a logical function. And how do I know if they had a profit? Well, if this number is greater than 0, they had a profit, and so I want to put a plus sign in there. Otherwise, I want to put a minus sign in there. Notice Excel puts the quotation marks in for me, which I need in this case. And let's copy this all the way down. And every cell that has a plus sign in it should have a positive number here. Every cell that has a minus sign in it should have a negative number over here. Okay, now I think we're down to formatting pretty much. Let's go back to our home tab and make this black. Shares column should be whole numbers with a comma and 0 decimal places. Shares column right here. So we'll get some commas in there. I don't want fractions or decimal places though, so I decrease the decimal places twice. Format, let's change that. Purchase cost, current price as dollar values with 2 decimal places. So that'd be these two numbers here. Format them with $sign and 2 decimal places, so we're good with that. The totals in GH and I should be dollars with 0 decimal places. Those are bigger numbers, so GH and I, and don't forget to include these down here. Dollar, decrease the decimal places twice. Notice the negative numbers when you use a $sign have parentheses instead of a minus sign. So we have done, let's see, these two. Format the percents, JK and L with percent with 1 decimal place. So that would be all of these numbers here, including this one. Let's format them as a percent, and let's increase the decimal places by 1. And make the totals row bold. That would be this row right here. Just do a Control B is the fast way to do that. Put a bottom double border below the numbers in the totals row in G, H, and I. So that would be these 3 numbers right here. And I want a bottom double border right there. Click off of it, you should see 2 underlines underneath everything. Right align C through L. Actually, I think they may already be right aligned. Yeah, they are. Probably need to put that one in there. And let's change color of those. Now center align the category column and the note column. Well, the category column is here, and the note column, just hold the Control key down and click on column M, and I want those to be centered. And change the name in the header to your first and last name in 10-point Arial bold. So let's go to our page layout view. That'll give me a view of the header. And Tom Klein, and let's select it here. And I want that to be 10-point Arial bold. Just make it bold. Everything else was already set for me. And I want to go back to normal view because I don't really like this view when I'm looking at my spreadsheet. Make all columns as wide as they need to be. And do a print preview. We want landscape, centered horizontally, no grid lines fitted on a page. So let's go to our print preview. And first of all, we need to change the orientation to landscape. It's still 4 pages now. If you skip through it here, it looks pretty ugly. And I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. It'll be kind of small, but we're going to fit it so that everything fits, all the columns fit on 1 page. And now that gives me 1 page. And I want to center everything, so that's on my margins here. I want it centered horizontally. I don't know if you see much of a change here or not. Yeah, just a little bit. And also on page setup, I think we wanted to turn grid lines off. Click on OK. And that looks better. And if I go back to my instructions here, columns are wide enough. Make sure there are no pound signs in there. If you see pound signs in there, the column needs to be wider to display the number. And that's it for that sheet 1, which we renamed stock. So I'm going to stop here, and we'll do the remaining part of the test in a second separate video.